So, okay, just let's start. My name is Maria, and sorry for the technical problems, and welcome to the English Matura Express, the express to your success. Our topic for today is what to expect in an oral exam. So we're going to talk about exam structure, about some assessment criteria, and then I will give you some study tips. So, are there any comments? Are we live?
We are.
We are.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, let's start without our great signation sound. Just imagine it, so what to expect. And now let's go. Okay, so a quick overview of our stream today. You will get an overview of the different tasks in an oral exam. You don't have to worry, it's only one oral exam, of course, but there are some tasks, so you will see in a minute. And then you will get an overview of assessment criteria. So how do we get your grade, or how does the examination board get your grade? Yeah, and then you get some study tips. If you want to start learning right now, you get the tips for that. Good. So let's have a look at the different tasks in an oral exams. Okay, so at first, before you start with your topic, of course, you have to pick two topics. So you draw two topics, and then you have to choose only one of them, which is great. So you only have to talk about one topic. And then you have the preparation time. It's in between 20 and 30 minutes. I think it's about 25 minutes, isn't it?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, roughly 25 minutes.
They'll stop before minute 30.
Yeah. So it's enough time, I think, if you're well prepared. And then it's your turn. There will be the introduction, the monologue, a dialogue, and a follow-up discussion. Yeah, and then you get your final grade. And hopefully you passed. Good, so let's have a look at a real oral exam. So I hope you can see it. Yeah, good. So in the introduction, they will ask you some questions about yourself. So you would talk about your career, so what are your hobbies, and some future plans. So basically you're going to talk about the past, the present, and the future. So yeah, think about that. And then there will be a task 1 and a task 2. The task 1 is the monologue. So there you get a situation. So in this example, it's you are a professional CrossFit athlete. I wish. And you have been asked by the University of Innsbruck to hold a presentation in front of students. Okay, so that's your role. You're an expert in sports. And you talk about 3 bullet points. So what characterizes our modern lifestyle, the positive impacts of being fit and active, and how to motivate yourself. So that's the monologue. You talk on your own, roughly about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. And then there will be task 2, the dialogue. So here you talk with the interlocutor, and it is a dialogue, but it's still that you have a rather active part in it. So try to give a lot of information, but of course also listen to the questions and try to answer them. And then there is the follow-up discussion, where you maybe get asked another question about the topic, or you can ask some questions. So maybe they ask you, okay, do you have some questions for us? So think about a good question. So that's a quick overview. Now let's see how you will get assessed. So there is a scale from 1 to 5. 1 is the best, 5 is the worst. And there are some criteria, some aspects which the examination board focuses on. So at first, how the examinee, so that's you, der Prüfling, communicates and interacts. So are you able to answer the questions? Are you able to speak freely? Yeah, so that's basically it. Are you able to speak in English? That would be great. And then we have the vocabularies and mode of expression. So your range of vocabularies. Do you use a lot of B2 vocabularies, or do you just stick to basic vocabulary, which isn't that great? So learn the vocabulary. Yeah, I need to learn how to pronounce this word. And then the content, of course. So there are bullet points, there is a topic, so please talk about the bullet points, all the bullet points and the topic, and grammar, so correct grammar, and pronunciation and intonation, so it should sound English. I mean, it's okay if it's American English or British English or Irish English, but it has to sound English. Good. So, I have the assessment criteria for you here in German, and I will show it to you in a minute. So, good. Here it is again. So, step 1, Kommunikationsverhalten, and here you can see one is erfüllt.
Never seen this before.
No, you didn't? Okay. Yeah. It's just an example that you can kind of see what it could look like. But of course, there are some different assessment criteria, but that's just, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. So, number 1 ist, erfüllt die kommunikativen Anforderungen weit über das Wesentliche hinaus, zeigt deutliche Eigenständigkeit in der Gesprächsführung, so that you are able to talk freely and actively. Then we have Ausdruck und Wortschatz. So do you use a lot of good vocabularies, and is your style formal? Yeah. So is it the correct register? And then Inhalt, so the content, and Grammatik, formale Richtigkeit. Are there a lot of mistakes? Is it easy to follow, or are there so many mistakes that it leads to misunderstandings? And Aussprache and intonation. So if you are able to pronounce the words correctly. So that's one way of looking at it. Let's go back to our presentation, to our stream. I'm sorry. So let's continue. Now you will get some study tips for learning for the A-level exam. First of all, it would be a great idea to know about all the 10 topics and its subtopics, and also learn the vocabularies, because then you have a good range, then you have a good, you have a lot of words to use in your speech, in your monologue, in your dialogue, and that's of course great. If you need some more information on the topics, of course there are a lot of videos on YouTube, not only the Matura Express videos, but like for every topic there are thousands of videos, so have a look at them or read some articles to get some fresh and new ideas about the topics. And I think the topics aren't that lame, so maybe it's also very interesting to read about them, to get some further information, yeah? Not only for the exam, but also for yourself. And then, of course, you can know the topics, but what is important is that you are able to speak about them. So to speak about them freely, to really be able to give your opinion on it, okay? So that's very important. So am I able? If not, I have to study more. Good. Then write down the most crucial aspects of every topic. So for example, you can create a mind map for each topic, and then you see, okay, what is important? What do I need to focus on? What are the subtopics? What's maybe important to mention during the exam if I chose this topic? And then write down the most important phrases and vocabulary for each topic. Again, have a look at the vocabularies and at the subtopics and at articles for additional vocabulary. And then, of course, read, speak, and watch and listen a lot. So really try to include the English language in your daily life. So on a daily basis, try to read articles, or watch YouTube videos or your favorite series on Netflix in English, that you really get used to the English language and the English sound, so the sound of it. Maybe get an English boyfriend, girlfriend, but of course that's not that easy. Go to an Irish pub, but just try to surround yourself with the English language. I think that would be a great idea. And yeah, again, try to practice. I mean, yeah, you have to practice, you have to study. So try to focus on the 4 skills. I guess you'll know the 4 skills, so reading, writing, speaking and listening. And of course speaking is the most important skill for the oral exam. But of course you have to read an article for the dialogue part, and so reading is also important. And of course listening, because you have to interact, and writing, yeah, you have to take notes. So focus on all the 4 skills. That would be great. Another way to improve and to study speaking, try to find a study buddy. So the desk neighbor in your course, or I don't know, your grandmother who likes to speak English or whatever. Try to find somebody that you can meet again on a regular basis, just to speak in English, maybe speak about the topics or speak about something else, just in English. And yeah, what I've already mentioned, try to educate yourself with the help of articles, books that deal with the examined topics. So yeah, read about them. And what helps me a lot is to think in English. So try to think in English. So for example, when you are on your way to work, or when you are taking a shower, try to think about the topics in English. And so you know, okay, what are vocabularies that I need to look up? What are topics that I have a lot of ideas about, or maybe that I need more information on? So I think that's also a great idea. Listen to songs and listen to the lyrics, English songs. And yeah, that's all for today, I guess. Again, I'm really sorry for the technical problems. And yeah, do we have some questions?
Nope, very quiet.
Did we have some viewers? So we still don't know if we are actually on.
No, it should have worked.
Yeah?
I just didn't get any. There was no responses or anything.
Okay. Again, we are very sorry, and we will have a look at that it won't happen again. And yeah, good. That's all for today. If you have any questions, just please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button and subscribe, that you don't miss a video. Good. That's it. Thank you and goodbye.